Because we know ICE wasn't even around until a few years ago, right? So we know that this is basically a task out of hatred. This is a task out of discrimination, and we're done funding the hate. Right? So that's what we're here for today. This is what our speakers are going to talk about. What does this really look like in our own communities? How this plays out day to day, and how this plays out locally with a program called 287G, which our sheriff likes to participate in as a favor because it's voluntary. It's not even a law, right? Ooh, exactly. So we're going to be hearing from some folks tonight. Please hear their stories. This really makes it personal. And when we tell our members of Congress why we want to defund hate, this is exactly what we can tell them. We can tell them this is how it impacts our communities. This is how it impacts the people that we care about. This is how it impacts our neighbors. So thank you all so much for being here. Welcome once again to the Federal Courthouse. I feel like we own this space right now. Yes. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to folks who all participated to be here all in community together to fight for each other. Thank you so much. And I want to pass the mic off first to Francis.
Hello.
Woo! Francis from Arriba Worker Center, Las Vegas.
Thank you. I just gonna read something that I write down. It's not because it's not coming from the heart. It's because it's better to remember the points that I wanna say. First of all, my name is Francis Garcia. I write it in Spanish, so I'm gonna read it in Spanish and try to say it in English. Okay?
Okay. Woo!
Primero que nada, buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Francis García y soy vicepresidenta del Centro de Trabajadores Arriba Las Vegas y también soy activista de la Alianza Nacional TPS. Estoy aquí como migrante, como tepeciana, como madre y como activista para decirles basta al odio. Basta a las políticas de odio que son para castigar a nuestras familias migrantes. Veo a nuestras familias migrantes, familias como la mía, que no tenemos cómo vivir con seguridad en nuestros países, pero al llegar aquí nos enfrentamos con una demostración fea de la supremacía blanca. Tengo 23 años viviendo en los Estados Unidos, he formado mi familia, mi presente y mi futuro aquí. Me encuentro dentro de los miles y miles de familias migrantes que hemos sido atacados directamente por la administración Trump. Diario vemos más ataques. Es un momento en el cual tenemos que mostrar que el amor supera el odio. Luchamos mano a mano con ustedes a que se bloquee este bill para proveer más fondos todavía a la migración. Es un momento de quitar los fondos a la migración y a la patrulla fronteriza. Y es un momento en el cual la supervisión es sumamente importante. Hay que exponer a la luz las injusticias inolvidables que se están cometiendo en nombre de este gran país. Abajo el odio y arriba las familias. I just want to go over what I was saying. I'm an immigrant from Honduras, and what we see people is trying to make a better life, but we're coming over here, we find that it's worse. La supremacía blanca is attacking us, is attacking our communities. The money that was supposed to be for making this country better is going worse. They are using our own money to attack us. So it's not fair. We are here to be united, to show that love can beat the hate. So up with the families, down with the hate.
Defund hate!
Defund
hate!
Defund hate!
Defund hate! Defund hate! Defund hate!
I just wanted to show you something. This is a poster that, your daughter, right? This is a poster that one of the children from Madeira Worker Center made, Francis's daughter. So separation sucks. And I just think it's important to recognize that while we're sitting here battling between who has an R behind their name or who has a D behind their name, and as we'll learn, those people aren't our friends either. That this impacts families every single day. The trauma that's being inflicted on folks, the trauma that's being inflicted on children, on workers, on healthcare workers, it's unnecessary. So just keep that in mind. A child shouldn't have to draw that. That's bullshit. Just say it. So on that, the reason we're also here is to pressure our friends. So in the end of July, right before our members of Congress went on recess for 6 weeks, they went on vacation, they passed a supplemental bill in June, July-ish that gave ICE and CBP more money. And both our senators said yes to that. Gina Titus and Stephen Horsford were the only one that said no. Woo! So if those are your reps, please thank them. Ask them to continue that pressure now that they're going into appropriations, because this is important. They like to use the buzzword of humanitarian aid, but what they don't say is that there's a loophole that says they can use that money for whatever they want, which means they can open more camps, they can do more illegal shit with that money, they can cause more harm. So don't be fooled by that rhetoric. That's what they want you to believe. And that is why we are doing this push for education about what this appropriations bill is really about. So your representatives need to know that you know, and they need to not fall for that. So part of this rally today is to be able to let them know that you're going to call them and say, not one more dollar for ICE and CBP. Right? We're defunding hate today. That's what we're doing. Awesome. So, who's next? Next, we're going to have Alma Diaz from Mi Familia Book.
Hi, so it's Alma D, by the way. No, you're fine. I don't normally do this, so I also wrote things down, so just bear with me. So hi everybody, my name is Alma D. Romo. I am the Nevada State Coordinator for Mi Familia Vota. For those who don't know, our mission at Mi Familia Vota is to unite Latinx, immigrant, and allied communities to promote social and economic justice for our communities. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. I'm sorry, I wasn't okay. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. I wanted to start off by asking that we need to remember who we are and what we are doing at this very moment today. We need to fight against the threats and the attacks being made towards the undocumented and immigrant community. I'm not here to speak for a community that I don't belong to, but I am here to uplift the community that I am a part of, to do something, to do more. We need to remind our public officials that we voted them in, and we can vote them right back out. We can vote them right back out if they don't choose to listen to our community when we oppose this cruel and disgusting injustice. We need to come together as a community and continue this battle together. This administration is aggressively dehumanizing migrants at the border, and we need to remember that the repercussions of these actions aren't limited to this population. Latinos and immigrants are of all socioeconomic backgrounds, and immigration status will also be netted in the process. Migrants are dying in detention centers, and we've experienced violence nationwide with the rise in hate crimes and the recent deadly attacks against Latinos and immigrants in Gilroy and El Paso. By dehumanizing Latinos and immigrants, this administration advances a hateful ideology based on white supremacy that is pervading our government and the policies being put forth by this administration. Mi Familia Vota will continue to defend immigrants and fight dangerous darkness that threaten our communities and our nation. We call on Congress to act swiftly to close detention centers indefinitely, and we call on our community to continue to monitor and oppose new rules that threaten our well-being, and to help register people that are eligible to vote and inform them as to why it is so important to elect people that share our values. Thank you.
Thank you, Alma. So again, this is why we're here. Let me give you a little bit of information. Last year, Congress allowed ICE to steal $200 million in order to expand ICE's detention capacity. Think about that. $200 million. Woo! So instead of holding the administration accountable for its abuses, Congress consistently gives them more money. So this is going to be important. Congress wants to pass a continuing resolution. They call that a CR. This is how they get away with it. Oh shit, we can't balance our budget, so let's just pass this little thing real quick to give us some more time to figure out how we can give you all more money, and we'll deal with it later, right? So this is the call to action, y'all. You need to talk to your Congress people about taking away this loophole, about defunding hate, and telling them that we don't want one more dollar. So, we're asking for no extra money for ICE, border agents, or that bullshit wall. Prohibit overspending for enforcement, and adopt guardrails for CBP and Homeland Security. So basically what that means, we should be able to know what the fuck is going on with our money. That means knowing what's happening in these centers, knowing how people are being treated, knowing that people are getting the health care that they need, getting basic necessities that they need, and not having an argument if a toothbrush is necessary or not. So this is what we're asking for, y'all. All right. So I'm going to bring up Erica Castro from Plan. Who looks amazing and fabulous.
Thank you. Hi everybody, so as Kenya mentioned, my name is Erica Castro. I work with the Progressive Leadership Alliance of Nevada. But most importantly, I am undocumented. And it's really hard for me to stand here when I know that there's a lot of white supremacists just standing there. I think the whole point of this rally is to defund hate. And we have an administration right now that is continuously funding it and continuously promoting it through social media, through policies, and the way that they fund our entire government. Not so long ago, we saw an attack by folks like these on my community in El Paso, Texas. And that kind of hate, that kind of trauma follows us everywhere we go. It's very hard for me to show up in spaces like this now and worry that something's going to happen because of people like that. And that's why rallies are so important. That's why making sure that our elected officials listen and understand that we need to defund hate is crucial, especially in a moment like this. So I urge you to continue to stay active, to continue to talk to your members of Congress, and to be a strong ally for folks that are afraid to come out right now because we're either being hunted down by ICE or we're being killed by white supremacists. Thank you.
All right, y'all, how we feeling? All right, so I just want to get a little energy in the air before we bring up our next speaker. So in honor of that, we're gonna do an oldie but a goodie. I think you know it. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud. Say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. I can't hear you.
Say it loud. Say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Good job, everybody. Good job. All right. So we will always be louder than hate. We will always be louder than hate. Always. So we're gonna bring up our next speaker, Sean.
How y'all doing? What's going on, Las Vegas? Woo! Let me hear y'all, yeah! Thank you. My name is Sean. I'm activist here with Las Vegas DSA, Immigrant Justice Subcommittee. I'm also. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me now? Okay. Wow, I hate my voice. So I'm also with Coalition of College Conservation Camps. I'm also a paying member of Make the Road, even though I haven't been to meetings. A special shout out to them. I'm trying to make it all busy at work. I just want to thank you all so much for coming out here in the heat. It's here, but thank you for being here. What we're here today is. Sorry, that's not really here. So I want you all to take a look around here and look at the people next to you. There's so many different people, so many different groups. It's over 8 different groups that are here today. People of different ages, older people, younger people, different ethnicities. We're all coming together to say, we're all coming together to say that what's going on here at the border, what's going on here locally, with Sheriff Lombardo. We don't want it to happen anymore, not in our name, and we say no.
You know, we all run a different political gamut, from the center to the far left here, the DSA. Yes, we're all socialists, but we all believe in the same thing, that what's going on has to end. We're calling on all officials, whether Republicans or Democrats, especially Democrats, who are voted in office by the Latinx community, the very community that's being targeted by these ICE raids. We're the ones that are voting in, and we're asking them to defund hate that's going on, defund these hateful policies, because it is hateful, the policies of our current administration. If I could share some numbers with you all, in 2017, the 2 biggest private contractors, Geo Group and Core Civic, I think it's important that these companies are named. They're trying to operate in the darkness, but we're going to name them and expose them for what they're trying to do. For benefiting off the suffering of our fellow humans, they made $965 million in contracts with ICE. That's right. That's $965 million that's taken out of our local communities, that could go to schools and roads. This last month in August, the Trump administration transferred $116 million from other departments in DHS, including $4 million from FEMA, the organization that helps with hurricanes. They're defunding our services for hurricanes and natural disasters to fund literal concentration camps where we separate families and children from their parents. I can guarantee you here that everyone here, we all have different things that keep us up at night. You're worried about making rent. You're worried about keeping your job. If you have a job, you haven't gotten a raise. But one thing you're not worried about is undocumented people. I know I'm not. The things that don't worry me are the undocumented. Just look what happened in El Paso. We had a shooter who literally targeted the Latinx community. They claimed that there was a Hispanic invasion of Texas, a state that used to be part of Mexico. That's right, it was literally part of Mexico, and they're claiming a Hispanic invasion. We have a wave of gun violence that's going on, and it's not the undocumented they're doing. I'm sorry, shout, y'all. It's not the undocumented. It's usually a person born here, usually a white man. That's right. Those people over there that are trying to come here and stop us. That's the people who are causing this violence. It's not the undocumented. And I say that we need to stop locking them up simply for trying to come to America for a better life. What do we want to do? We want to abolish ICE, and we want to abolish Don't let this young face fool you. I remember 9/11, and that was when ICE was created less than 18 years ago. It was just created. We can survive without it. I say we end it now. We end ICE. We end all deportations. Last month, the largest raid in the history of ICE occurred. In the history of the organization, there were 7 raids on 7 different food processing plants in Mississippi. Not only raids against people literally just trying to work, but on the first day of school, over 580 people were literally kidnapped. Parents, members of the community, the only crime was trying to work. Literally working to feed people. They were taken away by ICE, and that needs to stop. In the DSA, we believe that no Cuban is illegal. You hear a lot of these politicians, they talk a big game. They're all out here saying Spanish. They're eating tacos with the constituents. But you know what? What we need to do is we need to base our policies on the idea that no Cuban is illegal. They like to say that you come here and work hard, you should be allowed to come here. I say that no Cuban being is illegal. I say every... Thank you so much, sorry. Okay, sorry. There we go, thank you. I believe that no human is illegal, that every human person has inherent worth, not based on what they can produce per capital, not based on having a job, but just because they're a human being. No human is illegal. I think our treatment of the undocumented is not only the biggest is not only the kind of judgment of our society as a whole, as our health of our society, but it is the biggest humanitarian cause of our time. Because global warming is going to create just more refugees, more people who are seeking to be free from the capitalist-made climate change, and I say we let them in. No human is illegal. Let them in, that's right. Let them all in. 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 And here at the DSA, we also agree with the great AOC. AOC! That these are concentration camps. We need to say out loud that these are indeed concentration camps. They're not detention centers. And we need to close them down now, today. Close those camps. 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 And it's going to be hard, I'm not going to lie to you. We're up against a billion-dollar industry of detaining people. We're against the full might of the military-industrial complex. But we can do it together. In Denver, a coalition of activists, including DSA and Black Lives Matter and other groups, they ended contracts with 2 private contractors, American Civic Corps and Geo Group. They ended those contracts on the city council. Just this last week in Atlanta, the city of Atlanta announced they are no longer officially working with ICE. Just yesterday in California, they're ending all use of private prisons, including ICE detention centers. And here in Las Vegas, DSA, we're trying to do it all. We want to make Las Vegas a sanctuary city. Right now, Sheriff Lombardo claims they no longer are working with ICE, but they offer 0 proof of that. Bullshit. That's right. I'm sorry for cursing my man. But we say we want proof that the city no longer works with ICE. Thank you so much. Just ended. We're going to have another action on October 12th. We'd love for y'all to join us. It's going to be a national day of action with a coalition to close the concentration camp in national group. That's right. And with the DSA nationally. And I want to leave y'all with a quote by my man Cesar Chavez. Once social change begins, it cannot be reversed. You cannot uneducate the person who's learned to read. You cannot humiliate the person who feels pride. You cannot oppress the people who are not afraid anymore. And even though we're facing a huge opposition, we are no longer afraid. We're going to do this together. We're going to close these camps. We're going to let them all in, and we're going to abolish ICE. Si se puede! Si se puede! Si se puede!
like to introduce our next speaker. Thank you so much, sir. Yes. Felicia from Arriba Worker Center. If we could give her a little love, please.
Hi, my name is Felicia Norve, and I'm here representing Arriba Las Vegas Worker Center, where I am one of the volunteers in the committee for the Las Vegas Family Unity Bond Fund, formed in honor of my son Silas Anorve, who died by suicide, fearing the deportation of his father. Our bond fund is one of the most effective and direct ways together we can make a positive impact in our communities. By paying the bonds of those being held in ICE detention centers here in our own backyards, we reunite a mother, a father, a son, a daughter back with their families where they belong. Until we can end the 287G program, the Las Vegas Family Unity Bond Fund is one of the ways we can all fight back against these racist policies, these cruel policies that are clearly intended to reduce the number of non-white people in the United States. When in fact the United States is a settler colonial society with the exception of the small percentage of Native Americans, all Americans can trace their ancestry back to immigrants from other nations around the world. Together we can demand Congress cut funding for ICE and U.S. Customs and Border Protections. We don't need more of our taxpayer dollars being used on unnecessary border governance. Instead, funding should be redirected towards infrastructure investments at ports of entry and accountability for rights and abuses. We should demand our tax dollars be used to strengthen our communities by investing in education, housing, healthcare programs that increase well-being, not bankrolling xenophobic policies. Racism, hatred, and white supremacy kills, leaving in its path destroyed families. I know this because I lived it. My son died by suicide after finding out his dad was to be deported, after being placed on an immigration ICE hold. Since then, I have heard of 2 more children who have died in this way after having a parent taken and held under these racist policies. Racism, hatred, white supremacy kills. It kills people.
Yep.
Time to open your eyes, time to wake up. Those of you watching us, maybe on Facebook Live at home, it's time to get up off your couch. It's time to hit the streets. It's time to help these families. It's time to help each other. Thank you.